between the Zoom and the live stream, and then I'm just going to drop the link back for James and some of the other folks. Let's see. All right. Live, there's going to be like a little bit of a lag between the Zoom and the live stream, and then I'm just going to drop the link, squash that, throw it in here, post. Get my soundboard up. Brian, there's sound effects. Anybody?
I like that. That's very cool.
We're going legit today, or as legit as bootleg as possible. So, hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in. This is a really exciting afternoon edition, YouTube Live. So excited for everybody to be here and join us. You see it on the screen. That's what we're doing. We're talking about the buy-sell conversation. Douglas Cordova from Wrapify, Brian Rappaport from Quan Media Group. Gentlemen, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So to bring the guests at home up to speed of what today's format's going to look like, 5 topics. You're each going to get 60 seconds to distill the idea behind that topic down into as clear, concise a thought as possible. It's not a debate. Obviously, we each have our own. There's no right or wrong. It's all relative. So it's going to be an exciting time to share your perspective on the topics. You guys got any questions before we go?
No, I'm excited. It's a good way to end the week.
All right, cool. Well, with that, let's jump right in. Doug Cordova, the first one is going to you, my friend. So with 60 seconds on the clock, tell me, what is your role in the ecosystem of advertising?
So Wrapify, as you know, is part of the advertising ecosystem. We combine a high recall offline platform with retargeting, mobile retargeting, and attribution. And just from a larger perspective, the seller sides in the ecosystem, we're the people that make the world go around. We have the products. We have the things that the people see. We're exciting. We're fresh. And we're always raring and ready to go. We're always raring and ready to go. I think from a perspective working at a couple other companies, I think Wrapify brings something very interesting because we combine several different exciting opportunities within one strong, again, high recall offline opportunity. And we operate in out of home, we operate in mobile, we operate in digital, and just excited to be a part of this whole thing. Love being on the sell side, wouldn't trade it for the whole entire world. And interested to see what Brian has to say.
Like you said, sales make the world go round. That was your 60 seconds. Brian Rappaport, how do you fit into the ecosystem of advertising?
Yeah, well, Quan's on the buying side. I've been on the buying side my whole industry life for 12 plus years. We are, an agency, or almost, I like to say a concierge that is dedicated to providing a personalized approach to out-of-home buying and planning, focusing on strategy, attribution, and measurement. Look, there's a lot of great platforms out there in the environment and a lot of great shops. And I always think that there's a great way for all of us to work together. And there is, because there's so much business to be had. But I just think that, what we do here is really sit down with the client and understand who they're trying to reach and make sure they get in front of that audience. The last thing we want as a client to be up somewhere just because it looks pretty. It needs to make sense. Out of home is not defined by how much you spend, but where you are and who you're in front of. And that's kind of why I founded Quan to offer all brands, that opportunity. Obviously, we do love the D2C world, but we work across all categories, and we're just trying to make things a little bit more, one-to-one, one-on-one connection with, the growth community.
Awesome. So there we go. We've got an idea of how Doug on the sell side, Brian on the buy side, how they fit into the ecosystem. So let's dive into our next topic, which is direct client relationships. Brian, I'm going to give you the opportunity here because on the sell side, obviously we want to get to the decision makers, and sometimes the agency just is in the way. How do you see the sell side in the direct client relationship? 60 seconds.
Look, it's like one team, one dream, the way I see it. The most annoying thing is when you have a partner, and I hate using the word vendor. I'm really trying to get rid of that word in general. So when you have a partner on the sales side that wants to get in touch, has a great idea, a great product, a great piece of media for a specific client, and they know that an agency has that client, or a person, in the agency world has a relationship with that client. If they know that and purposely go around and go straight to the client and just start pitching, Odds are 9 times out of 10, that idea is going to be redirected back to the agency of that person. Now, if my partner on the sales side comes to me and says, look, this makes sense for this client because X, Y, and Z, this is what we can do. Here's a great deal. Here's a great way we could pitch it together. Can we set time for both of us to go into the client together? We'll basically tag team it and go from there. 100%. I think that's important. And I think it's really not great on the agency side when they're so protective and play so close to the chest that they don't want those on the sales side to have anything to do with the client. I think it's wrong. There's been so many times where I've gone and presented.
Sorry, Brian, that's 60 seconds.
Oh, that's it. All right. Go for it. That's fine.
But I love it. I think that that's a great point, right? Because we're going to try to go around you. And I've been on both sides of the equation, the agency side and on the sell side. And it's exactly that. It's going to get back to the agency at some point, and you're going to need to bless it. So having those good relationships. But Dougie, talk to me. Why is it so important for you to go direct to the client?
So especially when you're a smaller guy and a big fish, when you're not as well known, the direct client relationships are everything. I mean, 90% of Wrapify's revenue last year came from direct clients. Where, the totem pole, whether we'd like to think it doesn't exist, it exists. And how agencies buy is who they've been buying for more often. So we need to make our name. We need to push ourselves forward. We need to get in front of the people who will tell the agencies, hey, had this great meeting with Wrapify, really love the platform, really love what they're doing. We'd like you to, work with them on the next campaign. And listen, not all the sellers are the same, not all the buyers are the same. I will tip my cap to Brian. He's always been awesome taking meetings, understanding what we're coming to the table with and moving that up the ladder. But not everyone's like Brian. And sometimes, you talk to a client and they tell you to talk to the agency and the agency still won't talk to you. So what does that leave you? That leaves you with the only way you can go is to continue working with that client and hoping one day we can all work together, because Brian's exactly right. In a perfect world, all three of us together.
And I think that you hit it on the head there. And Brian, it's a word that you used that I think is the right word. It's the concierge. The agency is playing air traffic control and making sure that all the planes are staying in their lanes. So having a good relationship, and Doug, you just described it. If you do end up going direct to the client, obviously Wrapify, it's a significant part of the business, but it's still important to have that great relationship with the agency. So I think that's a pretty good perspective on how that stacks up. Let's talk about vendor meetings. Obviously, you guys sit on different sides of the table there. Doug, kick us off. What's a vendor meeting like? What are you trying to get out of that? If the agency's there, if the client's there, what's your mission? What's your goal there?
So I'm going to separate the two, and I'll do it as quickly as I can because we only have 60 seconds. So for the agencies, we want them to understand all the aspects of Wrapify. I worked for some of the big guys, and it's different when you come and you say, here's our inventory. This is where it is. So if your client's interested in any of these DMAs, this is why you should buy. For Wrapify, we're a multifaceted company. So they have to kind of understand all the different moving parts and why we're a sell-through. For the clients, you're talking to someone who controls the entire budget. So when you're talking to them, you're trying to understand, hey, this could be pulled from digital, this could be pulled from mobile, this can go to your out-of-home, and we can build it all together. For the out-of-home agency, it's helping them understand that, listen, you can go to your client and you could try to get more money for out-of-home, and this is how we're going to help you do that. So it's two different type of meetings, both equally as important. And vendors, for the vendor side, the agencies really help because they bring the one-to-many approach. Direct clients, I'm only handling one. When I talk to Brian, I'm speaking to 10, 15, 20 companies at one time because Brian speaks for all of them. So there's so much value in that way as well.
Makes sense. Brian, you're on the clock.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's really important that every agency takes at least a meeting with someone that they're not familiar with, or someone that they feel can provide a service for their clients. I think on the other side of things that the selling side should start looking at meeting with more groups as opposed to whole agencies. It gets a lost in translation. And when you have a room of 30 people, sometimes, people start to zone out. They focus on eating the lunch. They focus on their Blackberries, on their phones. And it's a little tough. So if you know a client's agent, if you know an agency, you know the way it's broken out, who has each account and those teams, meet with the smaller teams, get them like one-on-one and like resonate with them. This is what we have to offer you. This is why it makes sense for your client. And this is what we can do for you. And that's it. And then don't follow up, 3 weeks later and ask for another meeting because, to be fair to agencies, Everyone's doing that. But if you do have a new offering, then yeah, reach back out and go back in again. And they should give you the time. You just have to explain why it makes sense to come back in there. Any agency denying a meeting with someone on the selling side, it shouldn't happen. And it's poor for the industry as a whole.
Makes sense. That's already really great insight, I think, from the sell side and the buy side of what the advantages are in creating a good, healthy relationship with the agency while still stressing the importance of sometimes going direct and just continuing to cultivate those relationships. And I think a lot of people are looking for answers like that. Networking. We've all got different goals when we're networking. Brian, this one's for you. Start us off. What is your goal when networking? Are you looking to network with the sell side? Do you network exclusively with the clients and let the sell side come to you? What's that world look like for you?
I want to talk and meet with as many people in the industry as humanly possible. I don't care what side that they're on. It doesn't matter. I feel like the more people you know and the more people that you sit down and give 15 minutes to, it's going to help you out in the long run. It may not help you or benefit you tomorrow, but it could really help you a year from now. And for me, it's always been my mantra to sit down with somebody. Now, if it's through Zoom, it's through Zoom. But like, let's chat. If I've never met with them, if I think maybe there's nothing that can come out of this, like, so what? Like, what's 10 minutes going to do? Let's sit down, let's have coffee, and maybe let's see. And if you hit it off and you can help them out, they may send you a client down the road, vice versa. In 2 years, they may be in another company or they may be client side and they may remember you. It's come back so many different ways for me, it's not about business first. It's let's make a connection, see if we could help each other. And if nothing, like maybe this is just a good person and like, I'll see you down the road and who knows?
I think that's great. Dougie, what are you looking for when you're networking?
So I think this is one thing our industry does not do well enough. I think we pit each other against each other way too often when we're just trying to build ourselves up. We're trying to get more market share. I think we need to be doing a lot more of this, both on the sell and the buying side. I had a call yesterday with 4 technical competitors, people in my positions who work for different companies, and it was amazing. We just talk about the status of the industry, what we're doing, how we're trying to push the needle, and everyone has ideas, and you're like, wow, that could really work for me, or this could really work for me. Listen, no one out-of-home company can solve every challenge for a client or every challenge for an agency. So we should be working more together to help spread the love and help grow the industry as a whole. So all my networking, I always try to help people. You ever call me, you say you need something, I will say yes 99.9% of the time, because that's what I do. I think we just need to be doing more of that, especially coming out of this and everything that's going on today. I think networking is going to be more important than ever, and helping each other is going to be more important than ever.
Right. And I think that obviously this situation sort of sucks. We'd probably all like to be out doing the things that we like to do, but it's created so many more of these conversations. And I see that paying dividends now, but also 6, 12, 18 months down the road, because we're probably getting to know a lot of people that we wouldn't have taken the time to otherwise get to know. So networking, get to know everybody, because you never know. I talked to a guy the other day that does like swag and stuff for events, and who knows? He's not in our space, but maybe I can help him out with an event or something like that, or maybe he can help me. So I totally agree. Get to know everybody. All right, let's see. I think we're on to the last topic here. Deliverables. Brian, you started us last time. Doug, start us off this time. Deliverables. What does Wrapify deliver specifically? What do you expect for yourself to deliver, and what do you expect back from the agency or from the client side?
So what Wrapify delivers is results. That's our main goal. Our main goal is to understand your KPIs as a client, the agency, whoever we're working with, and to deliver those results as the best as humanly possible. That's why attribution is such a huge part of what we do, because we could show you at the end of the campaign, here's what Wrapify did, here's how we delivered. And that's what drove me to Wrapify, no pun intended. I think also we're supposed to make the agency look good, and we're supposed to make the client, whoever we're working with, the client look good. Make them be the heroes. They put trust in Wrapify, they put time into Wrapify, they put money into Wrapify. Our job is to make you look amazing. So that's our deliverables on our end. That's what our team focuses on. We want, I've gotten to business development because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build a relationship. I'm not looking for one-night stands. I want this to grow, and I want to work with the people that I'm working with throughout my whole career. I've done it for the last 11 years. I plan to do it for the next 60. So if I don't show you results, if I don't over-deliver from what I said I was going to, that's never going to happen. That's where I stand on that.
Love it. Brian, do your clients expect from you? What do you expect from yourself in the deliverable to your client? And how do you expect to deliver back to the sell side? Obviously, you got to buy stuff from someone. What do you expect of yourself throughout that ecosystem?
Look, just kind of going in order, what I expect from my clients first is some sort of brief and understanding of their audience, so I could properly plan and understand where they should be, as opposed to just kind of, spraying and paying. What I expect most of all from the sales side is an understanding of who I'm trying to reach. I try and send out the most detailed brief every single time I send an RFP out. The audience, where we want to be, what we want to do, what we're looking for. I'm blunt, I'm to the point. I'm a little sarcastic, I'm funny sometimes, but I am straightforward. And there is nothing more that I dislike than when someone writes me back, here's your proposal and a WeTransfer link. When I get a bullet pointed, email back from someone on the sales side, this is why this makes sense, and they explain to me what they're offering with some call outs, that's amazing to me, and that's going to pop, and it's probably going to make it into the final recommendation to the client. What the client wants from me and what they're expecting from me is a really nice built out deck with an understanding of their brief, an understanding of the approach we took to get them there. If they need to spend more budget, why do they need to spend more budget? If attribution should be a part, why it should be a part of it. And at the end of the day, how we're going to help them actually see lift and growth. And that's kind of, how we've formatted our, recommendation decks and grids to kind of make it a little bit different than the typical agency approach, to show clients, this is, what we're looking to do for you and why we think we're going to achieve success in this, approach. So that should answer most of it. I feel like there's a lot of missing out, but.
Sure. I think we could do this for days and weeks. Hopefully it's been helpful. I think that it definitely has. I mean, less than 15 minutes, you guys absolutely brought the fire. I think that there were some really, really good takeaways for both sides of the equation, and that's the goal, right? Elevate out of home. Brian, what are you working on right now?
What am I working on right now? It's really just trying to champion the industry forward. I think right now that it's by far and away a buyer's market. The sales side doesn't want to hear it, but it's true, but it's not a bad thing. There have been so many great partners in the selling side that have come to me and said, look, we want to get clients comfortable with out of home again. Stay-at-homes are going to be lifted very soon. People are going to be back outside. We know some brands may be hesitant. Here's a one-time amazing deal. Here's something that's usually not available. We're giving it to you at this price. Here's an extra spot on this digital piece of inventory. And for me, it's that these opportunities not go to waste. You don't want to fire sale blast it out to everyone. If it was a regular day, maybe once a month, I compile a lot of great last minute opportunities, and I sort of share them with a bunch of our clients. This time around, I'm kind of reaching out one-on-one to clients I know who is specifically looking to execute some out of home. And to be perfectly honest, in the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've gotten 4 or 5 clients that have not spent with me in the out of home space before to buy out of home because they've taken advantage of opportunities that they just can't miss. So for me, it's kind of 2-pronged: stay in touch with clients, stay relevant, stay on top of the industry, things like that. But also, get ready for this kind of mad dash when people slowly start returning to a sense of normalcy.
I love it. It's great to hear that we're seeing newcomers to out of home because of some of the great opportunities that do exist. Doug, what are you working on?
So a large part of Wrapify's platform is delivering gig drivers who are, these people are helping flatten the curve. They're helping keep people at home by delivering. They're in people's neighborhoods. So we've taken a hyper-local focus on what we're doing on the sales side, really hitting neighborhoods, really helping brands integrate into the places where people are exercising, people are walking outside, people are in and around the neighborhoods. And honing in on that, we're offering programs to our agencies and client partners at discounts we never offered before because we want to see them on the platform. We're donating a percentage of our campaigns to Feeding America to help, because everyone should be able to have a meal. We find that really important. And again, we're really focusing on our delivery drivers because they're putting themselves at risk every day, helping us maintain normal lives. So we're trying to get as many campaigns on the road to help put money in their pocket, help support them, help support the communities, and help flatten this curve to get us back out of the home as quickly as humanly possible.
Love that.
That's it, guys. This has been the YouTube live event. Brian, Doug, thanks so much for being a part of it. We'll have to do it again sometime.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thanks for the opportunity. Have a great weekend and stay safe.
Take care, everybody.
See you guys.
Thanks, guys.